Welcome! Today is our very first day of a computer lesson. Now this is going to be really cool. This will allow you to be able to go at your own pace and to be able to pause when necessary. My TAs are going to be the ones who are able to help you as you work with this. I am very excited about this, but first we need to go over a few rules. First of all, we need to treat the computers with a lot of respect. These are very expensive pieces of equipment and we're going to be very careful with them. So that means we're not going to yank on the headphone cords, we're not going to bang on the keyboard, we're not going to play with any of the settings on the computer. You are here only to follow along with this lesson. The second rule is that you may not go onto any other websites or activities unless you have been directed. If you need help at any time, please put your help flag up and someone will come to you. You should not be talking to your partner during this time. Your job is to do your assignment and your assignment only. At any time, you can pause just by pressing the space bar. This will allow you to be able to go back and review something or to take some time to complete the assignment that you have just been given. If you are ready to begin, you may keep going. If you would like to hear those rules, go ahead and pause, rewind a little bit, and find out more of what you need to know. If you're ready to move forward, we're ready for a supply check. Here is what you should have today. The very first thing that you should have is this clipboard. Now mine has my name on it, which is backwards right now. I don't know how we're going to fix that. Mine has my name on it. Yours should have your name on it. What we're going to do is our work on that clipboard. On the front of your clipboard is a packet and it looks just like this. You also today need something to write with. I prefer that you work in pencil, but if a pen is all that you have, then that works too. Go ahead right now and pause and make sure that you have all of your supplies ready to go. Okay, it's great that you have all of your supplies and you're ready to go. The first thing that we need to do on our clipboard is fill out our heading. We're going to write in the upper left corner. So right here, our name, the date, today is November 9th, 2012, and the period, so 5th period or 6th period. Okay, go ahead and make sure you do that. If you need to pause, go ahead and do so. If you are ready to move on, let's look at our objective. It says, I will analyze a primary source document from the Civil Rights era and using a chart, symbol, or power paragraph, I will make an assertion about segregation and back up my response with evidence, scoring at least 3 out of 4 on the rubric. That sounds really complicated. Let's think about what we already know about this objective. I've heard the word analyze before because we've gone over it as a vocabulary word, but I don't really remember what it means. I've also heard of civil rights, but I don't know all the details. I know how to write a power paragraph, but I don't know these other words. Assertion, and this rubric. I don't know what that looks like either. I remember a little bit about segregation from Maniac McGee, but for the most part, I'm still struggling. I would probably rate myself a 2 on this objective. I am not confident in my ability to complete this objective because I've heard some of these terms, but I don't know how to do the objective. Go ahead right now. Bubble in for yourself right here. Where are you currently at with the objective? Are you a 1? You've never even seen these concepts before. A 2, you're not confident in your ability to complete the objective. A 3, you think you can already complete this objective. Or a 4, you're already ready to teach this to someone else. My guess is that you'll be at a 1 or a 2. That's why we're doing this lesson. After you've rated yourself on the objective, let's look at this sentence correct. It says, use editing marks to revise the following sentence. Then, write the corrected sentence on the lines below. Go ahead and pause right now so that you can get caught up and revise this sentence. Remember to look for all of the potential corrections. Okay, good luck. Here's the completed sentence with the corrections. Use this as a guide to make sure that you made the corrections properly. You can pause if you want to take time to check and make sure that each correction is done right. If you're ready to move forward, Let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, Thursday. This is yesterday's lesson. Write a P3, a supporting detail, to support each of the following P2s. Examples. Let's look at this paragraph. Students should have the option of going to school at night. All right, so that's my P1. I'm going to label that sentence P1. I know that's the argument that they're making. Please label yours too. One reason is that they might be more likely to pay attention in the evening. For example, students pay attention in the evening better because, what's one reason that students might pay attention at school better in the evening? I'm going to think of a reason and I'll write it down. Go ahead and do the same. Also, it would allow them to play outside during the daylight hours. I agree with that. This is important because, why is it important that students are able to play outside during the daylight hours? I could think of a few reasons, but I'm going to complete this sentence with just one of them. Let's continue. Finally, it would be better for the parents. For instance, parents would be able to, why might it be better for my parents if I went to school in the evening? Well, I'd be able to take care of my little siblings during the day while they're at work, or I could spend time with my grandmother who's pretty sick. What do you think? Why would it be better for parents? Let's write our answers on that line. This paragraph is concluded. These are the reasons that it is better for students to have the option of attending school in the evening. This is a pretty strong power paragraph now. If you'd like to, you can transfer this power paragraph onto a lined piece of paper, and this will be counted as extra credit. If you'd like to do that, go ahead and pause. If you are ready to move on to direct instruction, then you can keep going. We are going to skip this next section on anticipation. So if you'd like to cross it out, go ahead and do so. This was on the back of our Do Now. Go ahead and flip it over. We are on the second page where it says direct instruction. Our directions say, highlight or circle the key terms in the following notes. I'm going to read these notes and circle some of the words. As I do so, I'd like for you to do the same. Go ahead and pause anytime you need to get caught up. Okay, here are our notes. Key terms, analysis, breaking major ideas into smaller ideas in order to get a better understanding. So I'm going to circle the word analysis, breaking major ideas into smaller ideas in order to get a better understanding. So I'm going to draw little pictures as a reminder. It's like breaking a big box into a bunch of little boxes so that I can better understand the big box by knowing each of the pieces. Then we have evidence. Anything that proves something is true. So I'm going to circle evidence and underline proves true. So evidence proves truth. Then we have assertion. This was one of our new words for our objective. I'm going to put a star by the word assertion. An argument or claim. It usually needs to be supported with evidence. I know what it's like to argue. So an assertion is an argument. I don't think it means like arguing with a sibling, though. I think it's like saying something really specific about something. And then I'm going to underline supported with evidence. So an argument needs to be supported with evidence. Then this last one, primary source document. Documents and other items that are original. They do not reference other pieces of evidence. Here we have some examples. Autobiographies, diaries, email, interviews, letters, speeches, films, photographs, research, data, etc. That's a lot of examples of primary source documents. One of the things I noticed that wasn't included on that list is a textbook. So a textbook is not a primary source document. Neither would an essay, I think, because that's not original. I'm talking about someone else's ideas. Now we have steps for analyzing a primary source document. First, we have to examine or look at the artifact. Then, we annotate or take notes on different aspects of the item. Third, we make an assertion about the item. I remember from before that an assertion is an argument that uses evidence. Fourth, we check that our assertion backs up, we check up that our evidence backs up our assertion. This sounds pretty good, but I'm going to need to practice a little bit before I'm able to do this. Now let's look at this rubric. This is the rubric that they were talking about in the objective, how I'll be scored. So a 4 is a thoughtful response that finds multiple sources of meaning in the text or artifact and strong use of evidence to support the assertion. A 3 is an adequate response that constructs some meaning from the text or artifact and uses evidence to support the assertion. A 2 is a simplistic response that references the primary source but draws little to no meaning from the text or no real use of evidence to support the assertion. A 1 is a simplistic response that references the primary source but draws little to no meaning from the text and no real use of evidence to support the assertion. A 0 is no effort made or the response does not reference the primary source. I'm going to have to practice this, but I am going to draw a line between this 2 and the 3 because I know that if I get a 3 or a 4, I passed this objective. If I get a 2, a 1, or a 0, then I did not pass the objective. Now it's time to reflect on the objective. Now that I've seen a little bit more of the notes and what we'll be doing, I can re-rate myself. Some of you may decide to lower your rating. Some of you may decide to make it higher. Most of you will probably keep it the same. Go ahead and check your original rating, and when you're ready to move on, unpause.